So guys, Josh Warrington wins a very close fight against Kid Galahad. A lot of people, I'm pretty sure on social media are going to say, robbery, they thought Galahad won. You know what? I think Galahad fought a good fight. I always knew Galahad was going to make it a horrible, ugly fight. He was going to make it very hard for Josh Warrington. And I even said stylistically, this is going to be a very hard fight for Josh Warrington. I expected Josh Warrington to win. And here's why I think Josh Warrington was going to win. Because I think Kid Galahad's a good fighter. He's skillful. He's got an Ingle style. He's awkward. He's horrible to fight. The problem is I've seen him fight and I don't think he would do enough. There's no way when there's a politically connected fighter you can go... Josh Warrington was right at the end. He was good. He gave him his credit and he said there's no way you can pickpocket and win a world title. And that's why I thought he wouldn't get the decision. One of the judges did give it to him. But, two of the others gave it to Josh Warrington. I always thought this would be a close fight. I never knew that. I never thought that Josh Warrington would run away with it. But it was what it was. I didn't think Kid Galahad... Thing is with Kid Galahad, he's a good, skillful fighter, but he's not somebody that I feel that would outclass the top level guys to get a decision. In order to get a decision when you're like someone like Kid Galahad, you have to do a complete job on somebody. And I didn't think Galahad was that good that he would be able to hopefully outclass Warrington. I thought Warrington would have his moments in the fight which will make the judges lean towards him being the more politically connected fighter. Obviously, he's got a huge fan base. And all these things sway in favor of the politically connected fighter. There are probably a lot of people that thought Galahad won the fight. But I think what Josh Warrington said at the end hit the nail on the head, where you can't expect to come to the champion's backyard and pickpocket your way to a points win. It's you have to make it decisive, and I don't think Kid Galahad's got that style to make it decisive. He was expecting to come here and win a close points decision with his style. He was always this wasn't going to be a fight where Josh Warrington was going to run away with it. It was never going to be that kind of fight because Galahad's very awkward, tricky, and he can seriously box. But I just think that, the fact that he wasn't busy enough and Warrington has a high work rate, even though I don't think his work rate was that high because he was missing a lot and Galahad was frustrating him a lot in that fight. And actually, the commentators made a fair point that Josh Warrington's crowd is very lively and loud, but really Galahad quieted. He made, the crowd was quiet. Galahad did a great job to subdue the crowd, and he did that by frustrating Warrington. And I don't think at the end they were quite sure that Warrington had won that fight. It was a very close, tight affair. And if Galahad got the decision, I don't think anyone would have complained. But I think what Warrington said hit the nail on the head, that I just don't think Galahad did enough to get the points decision. When you come to a champion's backyard, you need to probably do a little more, and I don't think Galahad did that, unfortunately. He boxed really well. He boxed out of his skin, boxed really well, but I just think the fact that he didn't do enough to convince the judges, in my opinion. And I think now Josh Warrington probably goes on to bigger and better things. Josh Warrington now will go on to fight for or have the unification fights with the likes of Valdez, Leo Santa Cruz, Gary Russell. Josh Warrington needs to go and take those fights. Andy Lee was actually speaking on BBC 5 Live, and what Andy Lee said, that Josh Warrington's probably found it really hard to get up for this fight because he probably feels that he's a level above. He probably feels that he's above domestic level now, and he needs to fight in the big fights in the United States again and have the unification fights. That's what I feel he needs to do. I think, it's only fair because, listen, he's beaten Frampton, he's beaten Selby, he's beaten Kid Galahad. He deserves to go and have his unification fights in America, because like I said, he's cleaned up the featherweight division here domestically. Now let's see if he can go and do it on a worldwide stage. I think it will be very hard for him. I think Warrington would give everyone a good fight in the featherweight division. I do think Gary Russell would be too much for him, if I'm honest. I think he's too skillful. I think, you know, Valdez will be a great fight, and I think Valdez will be a fight that Warrington can win. I think Leo Santa Cruz is a tough fight as well, but I think that's a fight he can win. I think the only one that I would say is Gary Russell. I think Gary Russell may be a cut above and probably the best featherweight out there. But, you know, Warrington's a guy, got a big heart. He's got a great chin. He's going to come and bring the heat. You know, that's what Warrington does. So, you know, Warrington shouldn't be underestimated against anyone. But, you know, I do think he's limited in terms of his boxing ability at the highest of levels against guys like Gary Russell. But I do think he could beat Valdez and Leo Santa Cruz. So let's see what happens, guys. But leave your thoughts. Let me know what you thought of the fight. It was quite a dull fight, if I'm honest with you. It wasn't the most exciting fight. You know, the styles didn't clash. It wasn't, you know, a fan-friendly fight. But, you know, I was always expecting it to be like that with Galahad. Galahad's quite awkward, quite tricky. It was never going to be a barnstormer with these two styles. But leave your thoughts, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.